Good morning, everyone. I love our laughter. Welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. I am Martha Brown, your host for today's activities. We are presenting today Peggy Spear from the Amon Carter Museum of American Art. My guess is that Peggy is bringing trains to us, which is why we went woo woo, and it is for Steve.
I'm not sure where the trains came from. We're doing Mardi Gras today, so I.
What?
What?
Oh, I'm gonna leave. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like distinctly remember.
Yeah.
Myra saying, "I'm gonna bring my beads."
I had our beads out, and Don said, "Well, that's yesterday."
Are trains in April?
I'm not sure. We've done trains in the past, so I'm not sure where that might have come from a past email.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
We're doing Mardi Gras today.
We'll do Mardi Gras. That's going to be fun.
That was yesterday.
Yes.
Mardi Gras
I'm
was
really
yesterday,
sorry
not
to
today.
disappoint,
You know.
but
I'm sorry.
That's all right, Peggy.
I apologize. I had bad intel.
And I just double checked
Martha.
the email, Martha. I did say Mardi Gras, so I thought it might be me losing my mind because it's happening, but this was.
You did. And you did say it was going to be a day late and you apologized ahead of time. I recall that conversation.
You know what? We're doing the best we can, but here we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And
Thank
we
you.
still
Guys are
have
so
trains.
flexible. We're
Yeah,
good.
there's no trolley cars. Those are trolleys.
Yeah.
Yes. So, here's Mardi Gras. Did you guys have a good Mardi Gras yesterday?
Ooh, yeah.
Sure.
Did you do anything festive?
No.
Even though it
We
was
went to
I decorated my bunny.
Very good.
Rose's to have lunch, although it has nothing to do with Mardi Gras.
It just happened to fall on Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom forgot too. I called my mom. I was like, oh, because we always went to IHOP growing up. We always ate pancakes on Fat Tuesday. That's been our tradition.
Yeah.
I'm Catholic, and that was like, I guess I thought that's what most Catholics did, but I guess it's a Northeast thing. Anyway, I called my mom. I was like, "Are you guys at IHOP right now?" She goes, "Why would we be there?" I was like, "It's Fat Tuesday." She goes, "Oh my God, I completely forgot." So I think it fell off a lot of people's radar because it just, with everything else going on in the world, and it's late this year and everything.
Yeah, really.
So we'll go back in time to yesterday, but yesterday 150 years ago, for Mardi Gras. Has anyone been to New Orleans for a Mardi Gras parade?
Nope.
I was there the week before.
Was it just as crazy and rowdy as?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I think they're crazy all year round.
True.
Yeah.
That is very true. But it's amped up crazy, I'm assuming.
This is the bunny with his decor, and you can't really see the beads, but they're all in his hair.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it. Yeah, purple. Are they purple beads?
Purple, yeah,
How
and a
fun.
little
I see.
mask.
Did anyone eat king cake yesterday? Did you guys, they're like a
No,
Target?
no, but
I offered to make pancakes, and he didn't want
I didn't
them.
want pancakes.
Dawn.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what?
Cool.
When the Lutheran Church down here in Texas, I don't know anywhere else, but they celebrate Mardi Gras the same way. Pancake breakfast or dinner or something
they do?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's National Pancake Day yesterday as well as Mardi Gras. So I
Oh, really?
think there are like pockets of people who do this, but
Dawn,
Yeah.
I don't think it's just during Mardi Gras time. Lutherans have pancake breakfasts all the time.
Well,
Catholics
yeah,
do
I
Kind
mean,
of one of
too.
their national things.
you know, it's the yeah. Anytime you want to get together, probably pancakes, right?
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah.
call it Strove Tuesday.
Stroke
Yeah.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
It's either that or a smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
Shrove Tuesday is the religious name for it. Fat
Yes.
Tuesday is the party animals name for it. So we're a bunch of party animals. Yeah, so here we're seeing There's not much to it, but it's, you kind of get a sense of, because none of us, except Martha, have been to these Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans. I mean, this is a total spectacle. Look at it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you notice?
There's the horse-drawn trolleys.
Yes. There's a
Yeah, it
chariot.
looks like a Roman. It looks like a Roman. What are they called though?
Oh, a
Chariot.
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 It's a big
Yeah.
wheel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
right here.
I see everybody looks like everybody has an umbrella. Is that because
Mhm.
it get the shade for shade?
Yep, up here, down
Yeah.
here. Look at this guy.
Oh,
Oh,
he's up on
my.
the pole.
Climbs
Oh,
on
Pole
poles.
sitters. That was a
Anything
thing.
for that best view.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this seems pretty wild for what, 1890? I mean, not that wild, but it seemed like, okay, everybody was here. We're gonna move to the next picture, and this is in the early 1900s. And now we've got hand painting within the photograph. This is a postcard.
hmm.
This to me seems way more fun than this.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's probably, somewhere on Charles, same exact parade. Just that color gives it a little something to it, huh?
Yes, it
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
So what do we see here?
Well, one big float.
One big float, you're right.
Nowadays they use a celebrity, don't they?
Well, yeah, this is like the whole thing is a whole, spectacle. It says Rex and his pageant. So do any of you know the history of these parades in New Orleans? This is really interesting. I did not know anything until I was doing more research on it. So the Rex parade is the longest standing parade in New Orleans, and they are the big parade that actually happens on Mardi Gras Day. So there is like a whole organization and group of people. This is like a big, big deal for the city.
Oh, really?
King Rex, who we see right here, is on his float, and he's the first float of the whole parade. And every year there's always a float for King Rex.
Huh.
And he's waving to his subjects. And there's always a float, which I think this is what this float is here, for Bouffe Gras, which is the fat cow that comes to celebrate as the mark for Mardi Gras. So there's like a 3 or 4 other floats that are every year part of the parade, regardless of what the theme is. Because like you pointed out, Yetta, with the chariot, these parades, this Rex parade in particular started in 1872 or 75. And each year they picked a new theme, and it's often related to mythology or history. So this could have easily been some sort of Roman war mythology that they're hitting on this year. This year, I don't know what the theme is, but it will relate throughout the rest of the floats that come. And bands and everything are told the theme, but it's a surprise. It can be a surprise for the rest of the city, or they kind of hint at it throughout the year leading up to it. And then the day of is the reveal. There's different ways that they've done it. So here we see the King's float, and I don't know how they vote on who King Rex is, but he is the one that oversees the whole day. There's a queen as well. And they are waving to their subjects. There are people who are on horses, who are masked, who are part of his court that kind of ride throughout the parade. So I'm not sure if they're in here, but they're throughout. And then there are people, they're on the fatted calf. There are cooks, people dressed up as cooks, and they're throwing out all different types of things to the crowds, like the beads, like little sunglasses or hats, or just little trinkets, things like that. But King Rex invites different bands throughout the local area, the state, the nation, and they come and they perform, and those performers get a special set of beads or a medal for performing, and there's contests for their performances. So it's something that the second the one ends, they're getting ready for the next year. This is like a whole culture that, of course, New Orleans is very proud to own and keep putting forward. but there are certain things that you can expect every year and certain things are a total surprise.
Say, Peggy,
Mhm.
I noticed right next to the float on the left side, it looks like it's either two men standing in front of each other or it's a guy on stilts.
I think it's two men.
It's two men. Yeah,
It's
there's a
two
man
men.
here and you can see he's facing towards the float. And then
Right.
there's a man looking, his feet are facing towards us.
Okay.
The door. Yeah, and these floats are on, you can see the horses, they're on wooden carts with big wooden wheels. So that's how they're being
Wooden
pulled.
wheels, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, you can kind of see in this one, these types of wheels. These are probably a little more elaborate to go with the chariot, but that's very similar to what's under all of these floats.
So on the first one page, you think that they had a toga party to go along with the Roman theme?
I mean, they had some sort of party that was probably a heck of a good time, but I
Yeah.
can't figure out what I mean, you can tell this is the king's crown. That's, the queen's crown, maybe. There's the king, and it looks like a bunch of feathers. So I don't know. I cannot figure out what the theme was for this year because it's not drilled down which actual year it was.
Huh.
But yeah, you can see and the stars. So I don't know what the theme was. I can't tell.
Huh.
And then I think this is the calf, but I don't know if for sure if it is the calf, but that's one of those that appeared everyone. So I think kind of the court of the parade were typically the floats towards the front. And the float would go and meet up with leadership. So I think now it always swings by the mayor and they meet in front of the Intercontinental Hotel in New Orleans. So there's like a certain path they follow and certain stops they make along the way.
Wow.
Well, the second one you're saying is a calf looks more like a horse. The third one looks more like a calf. The white one in the back.
Except you have the horns on the second one.
Yeah.
Well, you had horns on the first one too, or third one too.
On the third one?
You do?
Yeah, because they're coming straight out.
Hmm.
Not all horns go up. They come
That's
out.
true.
The cattle come
Yeah,
out.
maybe, I don't know. I can't remember what the other ones are that we might be able to assign. But yeah, it could easily be one of the
I'm just throwing it out. Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
had
mean, it could be.
maybe they had two fatted calves that year.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a good year.
The catted faff, as some people say.
And of course, they're all wearing colors, which you can't really obviously tell in this hand painted photograph, but the yellow, the green, and the purple are what all of the court are wearing, and certain members of the court are wearing. It's velvet with all one color with gold piping, so you are able to identify who his court is. But you can imagine growing up in New Orleans, how special. I'm sure many families are involved with the creation of these and have hosted things or drives for raising money. So I'm sure this is a culture that's just very long reaching in the New Orleans area. And the Rex Parade was the first parade that happened because it was an attempt to pull some of the nighttime shenanigans down during the day. And get people involved during the day. And it stuck, and it happens every Mardi Gras.
Well, I don't see anybody on this picture throwing beads off
Well,
the
you know
balconies.
what? Maybe you will in this one.
Ooh.
If she's not throwing, I don't know. We've got hands lifted up and fabric. I don't know what's happening below her neck. But this is Barbara Crane. This is a photograph by Barbara Crane. We've looked at her photographs in the past. She was the one that we had a really fun discussion about the people that were walking out of the door at the Science Museum in Chicago.
Yes.
That is this photographer. So we're back in Chicago and we're back at a Mardi Gras celebration. And she has any guesses on what kind of camera she might be using?
One of the Polaroid, right?
Polaroid,
Got
yeah.
it. Yep. Yeah, I got it. It's a Polaroid. So there's she's walking around and she's getting up real close to people and taking these pictures. And what is that? What is this cropped image, or what is this type of focus? What emotions do you feel, or what kind of connection do you have? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What do you think?
Well, she looks like she's calling out or singing or talking loudly or something.
Yeah.
Me, it looks scary.
So
Scary, okay.
It looks scary to me too, Steve.
Yeah.
Tell
yeah.
me more.
I
Well,
think
you think
the
she's gonna
black
bite somebody?
And she doesn't look happy to me.
Does or does not?
She does not.
Does not look happy. Okay.
Not to me.
She's
Not okay.
working.
Almost like a shock. It's like she's seeing something and it's just shocking her, you know,
Yeah.
her. She can't believe what she's seeing.
So speaking
Well,
back
you
to
know,
her,
Mardi Gras is kind of, you know, she might be seeing something shocking.
That's true. Yeah.
depends on what night, what hour we are in the night.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
Exactly right.
So it's interesting that you're saying that you're feeling more of a negative connection to this versus a positive. This photograph, she really liked taking these pictures up close because she felt like she was able not to capture the personality of the person or the setting of the situation, but kind of the elation and the joy that's happening in that exact moment. It feels kind of blurred. So there's the motion of, you know, movement and her mouth is open. So we've caught her either mid-song or mid-sentence or mid-scream. But she's really interested too on like the dress up of whatever the event might be. So
Yeah.
like she, you know, Yetta, you talk about the makeup, and look, she's got some sparkly gems on her hand, on her
Yes.
neck. You can see some sparkle in her ear.
Yeah.
Not typically what you would wear to the office, or
Nope.
pretty dolled up. So you're getting that sense of, you know, and to me, this looks like a feather boa or a feather hat, something
Yeah,
that's
could be.
Oh, good
kind
point.
of fun and funky that you wouldn't, you know, Mardi Gras, if, you know, if I didn't tell you it was Mardi Gras, you might not assume it otherwise. But because we know this was taken at a Mardi Gras event, feathers, purple feathers particularly, make a lot more sense. But she loved getting these close up, and it was going to be part of, from what my understanding, was going to be part of a collection she called Private Views. And a lot of these pictures are cropped details of people interacting or just a person, their body. Again, not get to the personality of the person, but more of the overall feel of the environment, the motion or the engagement that's happening. So we've got this woman, and then we've got this man.
Oh,
He's a little happier.
So you're picking up on the happiness now, Steve, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. What makes it feel a little happier?
Oh, he's smiling.
Yeah.
And his arms are in the air as if he's just you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And again, I'm playing the story out. He's catching those beads that they're throwing from somewhere. You know, he is here for that. And, you know, there's sparkles we don't know, or it could just be flicks on the, it probably is because it's on his sleeve, but it adds a dimension to it of, I don't know, some sort of glitz and glam happening, even though that might not be the intent of what happened. Again, this is a Polaroid.
Could you just dust particles on the Polaroid?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
So
Could be
do you
dark.
really think she was framing this picture with only his mouth and his eyes showing?
Well, you know, I think part of it, and she would be the first to admit, it was experimenting. So I don't think, you know, if you're in a crowd with a Polaroid camera, so you know it's not that, you know, your arms are up and it's not the tiniest thing. Someone's probably bumping you. I mean, if you're in like a parade type of situation like this, there's a lot of uncertainty that's happening, but she loved the instantaneity of these photographs because she immediately saw what she took, which either helped her figure out, I want to take more of this subject, or I kind of want to shift and do something else, which she said the Polaroids allowed her to make decisions in 3 months that she would have to take 3 years deciding in a dark room. So it allowed her that flexibility. So it probably wasn't intended to frame like this, but that was sort of the beauty of this medium. She knew it wasn't going to be exactly what she's picturing because of the film type. So these are pictures that she took at a Mardi Gras celebration. Although in the private views collection, it's events she took at Chicago Fest and Taste of Chicago, which are big summer events in Chicago. And they're very similar in style, where they're cropped. There could be, you know, there's a cute one of a dad. You don't see his head and you don't see the kid's head, but you see the dad holding a little bunned baby, and you can just see those yummy buns, you know. People just hands smoking cigarettes, people hugging. Like, you just are getting the vibe of this is a happy event. I know nothing about these people and I don't want to know really anything about these people, but I know that they're having a good time.
Peggy, I think some of the people, I think the serious photographers really didn't care for Polaroids.
Yeah, you know, yes and no. We had a huge Polaroid show a few years ago, and there are a lot of people who were working with Polaroids and using it as a really wonderful art medium. Crane had unlimited access to the film, which it was expensive film. It's really expensive now.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. You can buy, you can buy Polaroids at Michael's, believe it or not. They're little digital Polaroids.
But yeah, if you're trying to buy like the original Polaroid film.
Oh, originals, yes, they're expensive. Yeah.
And people still like really working in that medium. So, you know, it's harder to get now. People are more deliberate with their Polaroid, the instant photograph. But from what I understand, I guess she had some sort of contract with Kodak, or excuse me, with Polaroid, and was able to get film pretty readily. So she was able to kind of work through this series in a way faster than like the layman would be able to. And Barbara Crane's very well known in the photography field. She taught forever in Chicago, made a lot of contributions to the photography field. So this is just another one of her fun and funky projects that if you're bored, you can Google private views and see. These pictures aren't in it, but you can see the similar style that she was taking these pictures in.
Polaroids are so unique because before this time, you had to send out your photographs for processing. And you could actually see it within minutes or seconds.
Yeah.
What you got. And it's so unique in the industry.
Didn't it take?
I was curious. I looked up to see how much Polaroid film is these days. And one place at Walmart looks like you get a pack. I don't know how many's in it, but it's $34.90. It's almost $35.
Yeah, I think it's either 8 or 10 exposures.
Okay.
But these
Wow.
Polaroids, you couldn't see that within seconds. Didn't it had to dry a little bit for the color
Yeah.
and everything?
Like a minute.
Yeah.
It
In a minute.
So these people could have long be gone from her view when they dried.
Yeah. And didn't you have to put like a wax thing, rub to
No, they developed all of the emulsions are within this single pack.
Okay.
So they have the ability to develop. There is, in fact, the misnomer: shake it like a Polaroid picture. You should not shake a Polaroid picture. That actually messes with the emulsions. Everything it needed to develop was within that individual packet. So if you are, I used to have a stack of Polaroids near me. On the back, if you flip it over, you know how the one side has the image that develops, and then on the back, it's almost the same image, but it's a little glossier. There are 3 packets at the bottom. That's where all of the dyes and emulsions are. And those, when you take the picture, those are what release to then expose the image.
Yeah, the older, or I say the more modern Polaroids didn't even have, the first ones you had to pull off the strip, have the emulsion strip and everything else.
Yeah.
The later ones, you didn't have to do that. You just click it and it did all by itself.
Yeah, by the 80s, they were doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
And so we had a really, really, really interesting Polaroid exhibition, 5 years ago now at this point. And it just kind of traced the arc and popularity, the creation, popularity of Polaroid. And it's fascinating. how influential this development was, and important. And then now they don't make that exact film anymore. So it came, it saw, it went down, but it
Yeah.
was and is, I mean, there's something so nostalgic about these types of pictures, which allowed, again, there's the Instamatic camera that a lot of us, can still use, but these pictures, there was like a real uptick in like risque pictures that people were taking. I mean, no one was, so it allowed a lot of things to change with how photography was being used, because you weren't dropping the roll off of these pictures for someone to develop at a Walgreens, you
Right.
had some privacy.
So do the Polaroid cameras still have like that cube flash on them, or?
I don't know. I know Fuji film.
Fuji.
Fuji.
They're the ones now. You can get those cameras. They're like $70. You can just Google them. You'll find them on like Amazon, eBay, Target.
Oh, okay.
And they're cute, and they're a different shape than what the other Polaroids look
Right.
like.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough to say what Polaroid is still creating in terms of that camera. I don't think they are making that type of camera anymore. If they are, it's not what was being made however many years ago. All right, we've got one more.
Oh, boy.
And we were talking, you can't have a conversation without Elliot Porter, guys. We know this by now. If you've learned anything, it's Elliot Porter's going to show up. And here he is. And this is, we kind of talked about earlier, the pancake breakfast idea, but so here's a breakfast table that I just thought, it was just so serene. I mean, don't you just want to be on that porch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it like a silver coffee or tea set?
It looks to be, yeah, like a coffee pot. And then we've got, I don't think this is a teapot. It might just be sugar or something. Some biscuits, eggs, or something that would hold an egg. Coffee, milk, water, salt and pepper. It looks like a pack of cigarettes. Start your morning right.
Oh, my. This reminds me of the courtyards in Brennan's for breakfast is a courtyard. And when you go someplace, often it's inside a building and the middle of the building is open to the sky.
Cool.
So this could be, it could be a restaurant seating at one of the restaurants that's in a courtyard.
Perfect. Yeah, you've got the outdoors brought indoors, basically.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is Elliot Porter's family. We talked in the past about how they had their summer home they owned a private island off of the coast of Maine.
Ooh, even better.
And so their family summered there every year. And I think one of his sons still owns the island, or part of it at least. And so anyway, this is from, we can assume, their house. There are pictures from previous years where his wife and two of his sons are sitting at the table eating breakfast together. So this is probably just a little vignette on their backyard.
Oh, sweet.
But it's just really kind of like the house, that image we saw of the house that had all the white doors. It just, to me, this just feels like that same happy, cozy home type of feel.
Well, and even though the flowers in the whole thing is black and white, you see the flowers and I see color in the flowers.
Do you really? Wow.
Yeah.
How cool.
Great, Myra.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, there's just something about this is so familiar and welcoming. So it looks like they ate all their pancakes, but I just thought breakfast table is perfect. All right, guys, next week we are back, not with trains, but with From the Earth. So we're looking at some artworks we have that are on exhibition right now from an artist, Cindy Rodriguez, but we're going to be really focusing on artworks that are made from objects found in nature. So,
And Peggy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
From the Earth, on that day, you are doing all three of our programs. Are you doing From the Earth 3 times? Or are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I would love to come up with new topics every single time, but I alas cannot. So
My team
Catch
would
the
have
first
asked
one, you
me.
catch them to the other two.
Okay. My team would have asked me, so you've just taken care of that for me.
Yeah, and
thank
that
you.
will be the plan moving forward. Whenever I do all three, it will be the same all the way through.
Great,
Okay?
great. So we can sleep late
friends.
someday.
Yeah.
Bye, Peggy.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you so
Bye-bye,
much.
See you
Peggy.
next
Bye,
week.
Peggy.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Well, let's
Bye-bye.
take a look at tomorrow, and then we will stop the recording and go to Fifth Street Cafe.
Okay.
I was gonna let you know that Polaroid still sells their cameras. And other people sell them, but you don't always get the film with it. Okay,
Yeah.
you get a package from Polaroid that has the film and everything else in it. Some of the others have the camera, but they don't have the film.
Oh, really?
And so it all varies in what you're gonna get, you know, it's about $160, something like that for the Kodak package.
You really have
Or
to
a
want it.
package from Polaroid.
Mm.
And then, but you can buy Polaroid cameras for up to $25, like at Target, but no film. You got to buy your own package.
They
So,
should have been giving away the cameras because the film costs so much.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's like the
Yeah.
printers, you know, the laser jet printers or like inkjet printers, you know.
Oh, gosh, yes,
So the ink costs more than the printer.
yes, yes.
So anyway, I just want to let you know.
Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Does anybody see mauve?
Yes.
Lavender.
Lavender? Okay, lavender. Tomorrow we have TCU Frog Bingo.